Welcome back to the City League Live. Night 2 of Week 2 is wrapping up with the nightcapper. It's Elevate Indianapolis in their second game on the year against the defending champions in Prudential in their first game of the season. We're in for a great one. I'm Andrew Garrison. Alongside me is Zion Brown. We're set for the tip. Zion, what are you looking for in this matchup?
I'm just looking to see how this Elevate Indianapolis team can maybe recover from a tough loss, a 6-point loss against Big Brothers Big Sisters last week.
As the tip nearly hits me square in the head. It was won by Bo Hearns of Elevate Indy, but then knocked out of bounds, and I think they're going to reset for the tip. A second opportunity. It's Ali Akarashi taking on Bo Hearns for the tip-off.
Yeah, I think Hearns kind of hit it overhand. That wasn't a legal tip-off either, but they're just going to let it go.
Yeah, both players missed it, and it was Prudential sending it the other way. Missed shot straight off the bat here from Michael Tillman. It's rebounded by Hearns, and Hearns will drive all the way to the cup, grab the whistle and the basket, and it's a 2-0 lead right off the bat here with a free throw on the way.
Bo Hearns going straight down the middle of the lane and scoring to start this one off. Good start.
3-0 lead for Elevate Indy. You mentioned their 6-point loss to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Had a great showing in that game. Ron Patterson's team looking for an opportunity, and there's an air ball from Prudential, rebounded by Hanslin. And there's Ron Patterson, the team captain, losing the basketball. Bo Hearns grabs it once again in a quick no-look pass as it's out to Hanlon at the top of the key. Back to Hearns. Hearns in the corner, pulls. Golden shot from Bo Hearns. It's a 6-0 solo run to start from him. Now here's Prudential back in the other direction. Michael Tillman hands it off to Akarashi. Kicks it back out to Tillman. Tillman, an overseas pro and graduate of Richmond High School. He's going to hand it off to Plummer. Here's Larry Plummer on the right wing. Some swift handles. He hands it off to Zach Owens, and Owens lays it in right as the shot clock goes off.
Owens is so shifty. He's been in this league for years and shows off that shiftiness time and time again.
Ron Patterson pulls from three. That one's just off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Prudential. Working the other way is Plummer. Plummer pulls from the mid-range, air balls. And here's Elevate Indianapolis working the other direction. Hanslin, 16-footer falls, and it's an 8-2 lead for Elevate Indianapolis. Here's Prudential, and Zach Owens, again, showing off that shifty footwork, but can't quite get the finish from the elbow. Bo Hearns again rumbling down to the rim and again draws the foul call. This time the shot doesn't foul, but he'll have two shots to put Elevate Indy in double digits before we even reach the 17-minute mark in the first half.
Hearns is one of those guys, you have to shut him off in transition. And what I mean by that is usually when you're in transition and you're backpedaling, you're kind of giving up that open space between you and the ball handler. Hearns is somebody you kind of want to meet somewhere in between that three-point line and that foul line so that he doesn't have that whole open runway to get straight to the middle of the rack and kind of do whatever he wants with that much space.
He's such an incredible athlete with such a wide wingspan. And certainly once he elevates for a layup, it's very difficult to contest a shot like that, just with the reach and the length that he has with his wingspan. He's going to miss both free throws, however. Zach Owens will commandeer the offense from the top of the key. He seeks a pass, finds one on the left wing. There's Jamel Boyd. He pulls from three. That one's a bit long. Rebounded and fed into Tillman, and Tillman will put the second chance opportunity through.
Nice touch pass by Larry Plummer off the rebound.
Here's Shane Hanslin pushing the pace off to Hearns, top of the key. Hearns pulls from three. That one's just off, but he's showing off how he can be dangerous on multiple levels of the floor. Here's Tillman. That one's inside to Boyd. Boyd backing down the defender, runs out of room, finds Tillman. Great pass, but Tillman can't quite finish, and there's Hanlon. Back right to left, finds Bo Hearns, and Hearns slams it down. Bo Hearns is taking over early on in this one, and Elevate Indianapolis has a great start. Here's Owens looking for a response. Well contested, but a foul is called on Donovan Carlisle.
Hearns again is a tremendous transition threat. And this time, we see him the first couple times, he did it with the ball in his hands. That time, no one's checking him. He's just running up the wing wide open, and that play developed for a while, and he was able to yam it home with the one hand.
An incredible play from Bo Hearns, an incredible game so far. And Elevate Indianapolis appears to be without Xavier Turner, who was easily their leading scorer, fully taking over. He's extremely quick. He's shifty. He gets anywhere he wants on the floor, and he can shoot the three. Xavier Turner, number one for Elevate Indianapolis, not in attendance tonight, but despite that, they have a 10-5 lead, 10-6 lead rather, at the moment. And there's a quick three from Donnell Hinton, graduate of Northwest High School and Lamar University. Owens back the other way is going to find Plummer, and Plummer is fouled on the way up. Fortunately, though, on the other side, it's Hinton providing some sense of a backcourt presence without Turner and knocking down the three early.
Yeah, it'll have to be a kind of a group effort without Turner. It's good to see Hinton hit that three. In the meanwhile, I've really been impressed by a couple of plays that Larry Plummer has made, just watching his feel of the game. I talked about that touch pass he made earlier off the rebound. This time, just a nice back cut to get his defender lost. Would have been nice if he hit the shot with it, but still was able to draw the foul and get to the line.
This Prudential team, a group that doesn't necessarily have that many professional players, doesn't necessarily have that many D1 athletes, but they won the championship last year. They play great as a team. Everybody serves their role perfectly. They're looking to continue the championship defense, but slamming it down is Donovan Carlisle. And Elevate Indy, high-flying offense already. Prudential is on the back foot.
That's a nice catch by Carlisle. He kind of caught it below the rim, had to bring it up off the pass. But he was rolling, they doubled the ball handler, and he got free for the alley-oop.
Plummer has it at the top of the key. He's defended by Carlisle. Plummer now from the elbow. Puts up the J. That one's just off, and the loose ball is gathered by Jason Peace. Peace in the corner, finds Plummer. Plummer, second chance opportunity, left wing three. That one rolls off. Rebounded, kicked out to Zach Owens, and Zach Owens knocks down the three. Some great offensive rebounding from Prudential. They cut the deficit to 4. 13 minutes to go in the first now. Here's another three from Hinton. That one's off back iron. Rebounded by Plummer. Plummer slows the tempo for a moment. Feeds it inside. A great entry pass. A great find from Plummer, and it's Jamel Boyd finishing at the rim. 2-point game now as the intensity picks up.
See a nice response from Prudential after going down early. Now just trailing by 2.
Ron Patterson nearly loses the basketball. He'll kick it back out to Carlisle. Carlisle whips it to Hearns. Hearns has an open three. Doesn't take it. He finds Hanlon.
Shot clock at 2.
And Hanlon just gets there, and the finger roll goes. And those are the type of buckets that Elevate Indy is going to need if they're going to stay in front in this one and not let Prudential steal it the way Big Brothers Big Sisters did last week. Tough take for Zach Owens that time. And there will be a whistle.
Owens heading to the line again. We see him just continuing to put pressure on that basket and on that Elevate Indy defense.
17-13 is the lead here for Elevate Indianapolis. Their offense not missing a beat despite not having Xavier Turner here tonight.
And both teams still in this game have at least 8 guys out there. Elevate Indy has 8. And it's a full 9 for Prudential. So if fatigue starts to become a factor, they can sub in and out pretty seamlessly as compared to a lot of teams we see have kind of 7 or less available to play in these games.
We should see some high-intensity basketball across the board as a result. Zach Owens knocks down both free throws. City League MVP of 2024 on this Prudential Championship squad. Working back the other direction is Donovan Scott. He turns it over. Plummer now with the fast break opportunity. Hands it off to Peace. Peace can't quite finish at the rim. It's rebounded by Hanslin. And now an opportunity back the other way. And it's going to be Carlisle once again laying it in. 19-14 is the lead for Elevate. Here's Owens handing it off to Boyd, and Boyd, the J falls. One possession game as we reach the midway point of the first half. Hanlon has it knocked away by Plummer. Plummer's really been all over the floor so far this game, Zion.
Yeah, he sure has, and for this team that's undersized, kind of Plummer and Owens in that backcourt have still made plays defensively despite being a smaller backcourt.
Here's Scott feeding Carlisle. Carlisle working on Owens, has the size advantage but can't get the bucket to fall. He wants a foul call. And that creates a 5-on-4 on the other ends. Larry Plummer knocks down the open three. Carlisle was still arguing the call, and Plummer ties the game on the other end.
You nailed it, Andrew. That 5-on-4 allowed the open shot.
Hanlon misses the response. Zach Owens working the other way. Has an opportunity to retake the lead for Prudential. He works to the elbow, pulls from there. Off back iron, tipped away by Peace. Jamel Boyd, top of the key. Off back iron once again, and this time successfully rebounded by Elevate. Elevate looking for a fast break opportunity. Prudential wanted to travel. It's knocked out of bounds, and Elevate will reset.
This game is intense right now, Andrew. There's guys flying all over the place, the ball being batted around, physical contact every time the ball is near the hoop. There's a lot going on in this one.
Well, Prudential just watched the team they beat in the championship game last year put up 101. They're looking to set the tone on their championship defense campaign. Elevate Indy looking for their first win. And it's Hearns, a mid-range J, puts Elevate back in front.
Bo Hearns has kind of gotten buckets in a variety of ways already in this game.
Willie Morris crosses the timeline, finds Larry Plummer, and Larry Plummer from beyond the free throw line hits a long two to tie the game back up again. Here's Hearns on the left wing. He steps back from three. That one glances off. Rebounded by Prudential. And they will have a poor pass in transition, leading to a Donovan Scott fast break layup. 23-21, the lead for Elevate. They're staying in front here.
Just got to be smart with the ball if you're Prudential.
Plummer, long three doesn't go. Rebounded by Elevate, and Elevate will continue to push the pace back the other way. Here's a deep three for Elevate. That one's cash. It's Mike Elliott, the North Central graduate here locally, putting Elevate back up 5. And he will fall to the ground defensively as Jamel Boyd has a mid-range shot that's off back iron, rebounded by Trey Patterson, cousin of Ron Patterson. Both are on the floor. There's Ron Patterson with the basketball at the top of the key. He's going to find Hearns on the right wing. And Hearns nearly loses it, finds Trey Patterson. The give and go just rolls off. Hearns couldn't finish. Prudential working in the other direction. Three off the back iron, rebounded by Peace. Peace goes back up with it. They want a jump ball, and it appears they will get it.
They just swarmed Jason Peace after that rebound. Looked like after the first power dribble he took, he was going to have an opening to go up with the ball. But that was not the case, and it turned into a jump ball. Peace was subbing out, but you're in the jump ball, buddy. You got to stay in the game.
Absolutely. And Peace will be prepared to take the tip. And he seems to be up against Donovan Scott. Peace has the height advantage here, and he will win the tip with ease. Willie Morris feeds Plummer. Plummer back to Peace. Peace top of the key. Can't knock down the three ball. And it's out of bounds, and it'll stay with Prudential, much to the chagrin of the Elevate Indy bench.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that call. I thought that was glass touched by Tillman down there, but that's not the call. And the official's looking to see if another official got a better look at it. And they will change the call.
So it'll go back to Elevate. And I suppose as long as the calls are correct, however they get there, shouldn't matter much. Here's Hanlon, working right to left. Prudential still arguing the reversal of the call. Hanlon at the top of the key, working inside, finds Ron Patterson. And Patterson pulls from three, bricks that one, rebounded by Plummer. Plummer pushing the pace back the other way for Prudential. Plummer out to Tillman. Tillman rumbling to the rim. Crashes to the glass, up, under, and through. Here's Patterson facing full court pressure from Morris. He finds Hanlon, and Hanlon is stripped on the way to the rim.
Excellent hands by Tyree Johnson. That looked like an easy layup for Hanlon, and somehow he was able to knock it away all ball as well to reset the offensive possession.
Elevate will have another opportunity. They are up three. Donovan Scott inbounds. Here's Carlisle. Carlisle steps back. Golden shot from Donovan Carlisle. Hits the Archer celebration to go up 6. It's Prudential on the other end. Michael Tillman with it at the top of the key. And he hands it off to Johnson, who hits Plummer, and Plummer can't knock down the 3 ball. 6-point lead for Elevate Indy. Will have another opportunity to be extended as a blocking foul is called and transition on Tillman.
It's a danger zone, I feel like, if you're Prudential. Just the way this Elevate Indy team is playing, the intensity they have shown up with here tonight. Got to stay within range to strike.
Mike Elliott pulls from 3 once again, and he hits another one. That one rattles down. We've got a 9-point lead now for Elevate Indy without Xavier Turner. A great showing here in week number 2. Prudential the other way. It's Michael Tillman. Gives it up to Johnson. Corner 3 pulled, and it will fall. Wade Peters out of Carroll High School in Flora, Indiana, knocks down the corner 3.
Great extra pass by Tyree Johnson.
Patterson finds Carlisle. Carlisle backing down Peters. He's stripped and a whistle is blown. 3:56 to go in the first half. 32-26 is the lead for Elevate.
See how they guard these post-ups that Donovan Carlisle has. That time they sent the second defender late in the process, and Carlisle looking to post again.
Hearns inbounds to Scott across the floor. Scott on the right wing. Closely guarded. Elliott pulls from 3. That time he misfires. Here's Prudential back the other direction. And coast to coast with the foul call is Willie Morris.
What a move by Morris. Left-handed as well to get that one to drop. There's some chatter going on that court too, Andrew. This is fun.
This is certainly a fun nightcap to a great night here at the City League. We've seen some intense pace across games here, and it's certainly elevated by Elevate Indy and Prudential. Here's Carlisle rumbling to the rim, kicking out to Hearns. Hearns to Elliott in the corner, and he knocks it down. Mike Elliott 3 for 4 so far from 3.
You have to match up in transition. This Elevate team has athletes and shooters.
Here's Owens backing down Scott. He is fouled on the way up. And down 7, Owens will have an opportunity to shoot free throws. Well, in the last game we saw Mambo's Cheesesteak Grill, a team that appeared in the title game this past season, go down early to Big Brothers Big Sisters and then come back in the second half and end up winning. Prudential looking to do the same as they're down 7.
Anytime that it feels like Prudential really needs an answer, needs a basket, they go to Zach Owens. And I think they probably won't be able to regain this lead going back into halftime. But going into the second half, we can expect to see the ball in his hands quite a bit as the guy they want making ways.
Yeah, Zach Owens, graduate of Indianapolis Crispus Attucks High School, a storied basketball institution. And then he's played college ball at Huntington University, Emporia State University, Bethel University. He averaged over 15 points per game there. Professional overseas in Zach Owens and the City League MVP of 24. Over a minute to go, just about, in the first half. Burns relinquishes the basketball, hands it off to Elliott. Elliott, 75% from three so far. This time he slithers and snakes to the cup, puts it up under and through. 7-point lead once again for Elevate.
How about Mike Elliott hanging in the air to kiss that layup off the glass?
Prudential back in the other direction. It's poked away by Patterson, and Hearns will lob it to himself, and he couldn't finish the dunk. You can't play with your food just yet. You're only up 7. Prudential fails to finish on the other end, however. And there's the slam dunk from Donovan Carlisle, number 2 from him. And Elevate Indy gets away with one, despite the slight mishap from Hearns.
Well, Prudential had a 5-on-3 and didn't capitalize, and that's what happens on the other end.
Another thunderous slam from Donovan Carlisle. And we have a foul on the other end. It'll be Jamel Boyd shooting free throws, and that should be the last action of the first half. 39-30, currently the lead for Elevate Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think they'll take everybody off the line here at this point, and this will just be the end of the half with these 2 free throws for Boyd.
And Boyd's first falls. 39-31 now. Elevate Indianapolis putting 39 points on the board without Xavier Turner tonight. An incredible team effort on both ends of the floor for Elevate. And Boyd will hit the second free throw to make it 39-32. We reach halftime. Zion, what's been your number one takeaway from Elevate Indy's 7-point lead here in the first half?
The athleticism really sticks out for this Elevate Indy team. Between the 2 bigs, Carlisle and Hearns, they've really been able to show off that athleticism quite a bit. They can also shoot the ball as a team pretty well. And right now, Prudential's nowhere near out of this, right? They're playing a good enough game to stick around, and I can't wait to see kind of which team can maybe take control and seize this one in the second half.
Elevate Indy's up 39-32 at halftime. The second half of the nightcapper is on the way. Stick with us here on the City League Live on a wonderful Thursday night. Welcome back to the City League Live for second half action between Elevate Indy and Prudential. Elevate Indy has a 7-point lead heading into the second half. I'm Andrew Garrison alongside Zion Brown. And Zion, what are you looking for from Prudential to potentially clap back in this second half of the last game of the night?
All it takes is a quick little run, right? They're down 3 possessions, which is nothing. Right? You make 1-3, get a transition layup there, and all of a sudden it's a game again. And so right now it's just about Prudential getting those stops defensively, closing out defensive possessions, and doing enough to get back in this one. I think their offense is in a fine place, I'd say. Wasn't perfect in that half, but I think they're right there, right? And this team, the defending champs, you know they have that pedigree. They're not just going to go down and fall down here without a fight.
Great points, and there's certainly star power on this team that we haven't quite seen reach their full potential yet in this game. It's important to note, Prudential playing their first game of the year. Elevate Indy, of course, played last week. We saw this same scenario 2 hours ago where Mambo's Cheesesteak Grill in their first game was a little bit slow to start and ended up having a dominant victory over Big Brothers Big Sisters. Here's Donnell Hinton on the right wing. He pulls from 3, and that one's just off back iron and rebounded by Larry Plummer of Prudential. And Plummer throws it off the hip of Zach Owens. He wasn't ready for it. Hanslin on the other end, pulls from 3, and he knocks that one down. It's a 10-point lead for Elevate.
Can't turn it over. We've seen some costly turnovers by Prudential today.
Here's Tillman, and nearly a turnover as Hearns tips it back to Owens. Owens feeds Johnson inside, and Johnson puts through his first points of the game. North Central graduate. Here's Hearns handing it off to Hinton. Hinton on the right wing, looking for space against Owens. Finds Ron Patterson, a deep 3. That one's just off the front of the rim. Here's Owens crossing the timeline. Now at the top of the key is Owens, and he turns the ball over off a pass towards Jamel Boyd. Ron Patterson working the other way. Nearly turns it over himself, but it's Shane Hanlon finishing at the rim. Quick 5-0 run from him. And the lead is again at 10.
Impressive by Hanlon. Make the leaning bank shot.
And there's Zach Owens knocking down a left wing 3, making his presence known. Hearns fails to respond. Owens with the rebounds. Prudential looking for that scoring run you alluded to earlier, Zion. And there's a 3 from Tillman. So once from Owens and once from Tillman. And just as you said, it's a 4-point game and it's a ball game again.
And that's all it really takes, right? Get another stop here and you're even closer to that leading team in Elevate Indy. This guy right now has the hot hand.
And Hanlon works with his left. He gets the whistle on the way up. Hanlon proud of his work there, deservedly so. Up 4 is Elevate Indy, and Hanlon reaches the line.
Yeah, Hanlon had just 2 points in that first half, but he came out in the second half on a mission for Elevate Indy with another chance to score now.
And Hanlon was very impressive last week alongside Xavier Turner. I loved what Hanlon was doing from the wings to complement Turner's ability across the floor. He'll miss the first free throw, but Shane Hanlon, without Xavier Turner, really emerging in this game.
And I like the fact that they realized, despite him only scoring those 2 points in the first half, that he kind of has it going right now, and they kind of ran that play through him when they needed points.
5-point lead for Elevate. Plummer has it inside. He runs out of space, kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson knocks down the 3. Tyree Johnson working his way into the action as dusk falls upon Indianapolis. Here's Bo Hearns on the right corner. He finds Patterson, who flashes inside. Patterson has a size advantage and finishes at the rim. Zach Owens seeking a response from the right wing, guarded by Hinton. He pulls up from the free throw line, reconsiders a shot, passes it. It's kicked back out to Tillman. Tillman misses the 3 that time, rebounded by Carlisle. Here's Hanslin handling the basketball, pulling from 3. It's a heat check on that shot. And in transition, it's Prudential. Laying it in is Jamel Boyd. And a timeout is going to be called as Prudential cuts the deficit to 2.
And that's the type of play we saw happening the other way in the first half, it was Prudential not really getting back while Elevate Indy got on in transition. That time, wide open was Boyd. Nobody really ran with them for Elevate Indy, and we've got ourselves a game.
Absolutely we do, and this is another example of just how fun the Elam ending could end up being. We saw Mambo's Cheesesteak Grill really run away with it by this point against Big Brothers Big Sisters, but the defending champions in Prudential having a much tougher time against Elevate Indy. Now remember, Ron Patterson tore his ACL during the City League in 2023, missed all of the 2024 season, then in his words came off the couch to win the Dust Bowl a couple weeks ago here, another local event in Indianapolis, and has been absolutely fired up to take this Elevate Indy squad on a run to potentially win a championship, and to knock off the defending champions would certainly make some noise early in the season. Carlisle lays it in off the feed from Hanslin. Great assist from the shooter.
Patterson's someone who just loves basketball, and he's been a big part of the City League now for years.
Flashing inside is Plummer. He can't finish. Hanslin mishandles the rebounds, and Tillman takes advantage on the glass. Here's Carlisle. He doesn't have numbers, and he's fouled. And it's going to be on the floor. Tillman pleased by that aspect of the call. 49-47 the lead for Elevate. They've been hanging on, and it's really been impressive how they've stayed in front of Prudential for the majority of this game.
It sure has. Now they just have to play poised basketball. They're not getting the same transition looks, and that's maybe affected their offense a bit.
Hanlon pulls up from the elbow. That one's just off. Rebounded offensively. And inside is Mike Elliott, and one. Elliott hit 3 triples in the first half, and now working in between the blocks. He's got 11 and a chance to have 12. 49-47, or 51-47 is the lead. He has the chance to extend it to 5.
Feathery touch by Elliott to get that one to drop through contact.
And the free throw falls as well. 5-point lead for Elevate. Prudential very much in it with some clutch shooters across the floor. Owens in the mid-range, kicks it back out to Plummer. Plummer guarded by Hanlon. He pulls up from the top of the key. That one's off the front of the rim. Rebounded now by Tillman. Tillman, a corner 3, falls.
Needed it, and he got it.
Elevate left to right. Mike Elliott, coast to coast, and the mid-range drops. And again, a 2-possession lead for Elevate. There's Boyd. His 3 just off. Rebounded by Johnson. Johnson is stripped but fouled by Patterson. Patterson frustrated, but Prudential will go to the line for 2.
Patterson thought he got that clean. We're too far away. I really couldn't tell from our angle, but it's called a foul, and he gives the ref a thumbs up. It'll be 2 free throws instead for Johnson.
Ron Patterson just plays with so much joy on the floor. As you mentioned, truly loves the game of basketball. He's a great example of what we mean when we say in 49 states it's just basketball, but this is Indiana. It's because of people like Ron Patterson here at the City League.
Absolutely.
Second free throw off, rebounded by Shane Hanlon. Keeps control of this one. Hands it off to Hearns. Hearns crosses the timeline. And Hearns hounded by Johnson. Johnson forces him out of bounds and rips the ball away from Hearns. Gets a scolding from the official, but a great hustle play for Tyree Johnson nonetheless.
Yeah, tremendous defense. I don't think he committed a foul. I know Hearns thought he did. I thought that was clean. Just like this. Just
and
like that.
A turnover the other way. Some chaos on the floor. But it's going to be finished off by Elevate Indy with the bucket. They get away with murder on that one. Here's Larry Plummer on the left wing. Swings it to Tillman. Tillman back to Plummer, top of the key. And he flashes inside past Hanslin, up, under, and through. And there's going to be a timeout called as Prudential cuts the deficit to 3 once again.
This Prudential team just will continue to fight and fight and fight. As they thought they got the quick timeout off, but I don't official timeout. Okay.
I thought I saw the tapping of the head there.
Yeah, that's right.
Here comes Donovan Scott working the other way, left to right. Up 3 is Elevate. And Scott nearly turns it over. Peters wanted a piece of it. Scott pulls from 3. No good. It's Morris feeding Boyd. Boyd inside. Great hesitation to fly Scott past the baseline, and it's now a 1-point deficit. Elliott, deep 3. Rolls off. Rebounded by Tillman. Prudential can take a lead here. Zach Owens, corner 3 to do just that. Owens celebrates on the way back. 58-56 lead for Prudential.
This Elevate Indy offense has slowed down. Let's see if Patterson can get the puppies together.
This one might just come down to the wire. Hearns, long 2. That one drops. Unless they give him 3, they do not. Tie ball game.
Incredible shot by Hearns.
Deep one from Tillman. The response doesn't go. Hearns manages to gather the rebounds. He has a numbers advantage. He's fouled, and the ball flies into the seats. Hearns will head to the line.
Once again, no one with a head of steam is going to be able to really stop Hearns. He did have Patterson open in the corner. I think either play would have been the quote-unquote right play because he still ended up getting fouled. He was still going to have that runway to score if he didn't get fouled. And then open Patterson 3 is also a good shot. So regardless, there wasn't really a bad option there.
Absolutely. It's Hearns retaking the lead for Elevate Indy. I'm really impressed, Zion, with how Elevate has been able to stay in front against the defending champions. Far too often in the City League we see maybe an underdog take an early lead like a couple hours ago with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and then quickly the favorite on paper comes right back and dominates, but Elevate hasn't let that happen.
And this team lost last week to that Big Brothers Big Sisters team, but they have come out here with purpose and played well.
Great points as Peace checks back into the game, launches a mid-range jumper. That one's just off, rebounded by Tillman. Prudential retakes the lead.
And once again, week 1 isn't everything. Sometimes you learn lessons from week 1 that you can really take going in to the rest of the season, and you learn a lot about yourself from whatever happens in that first game.
Ron Patterson gives it to Carlisle. Carlisle works into the lane, fires from there, and it ricochets off the rim. Here's Owens feeding Peace. Peace outside to Morris. Morris gathers control of it. That seemed like a double dribble to me, but it's Michael Tillman who's going to knock that shot down.
I thought he might have doubled and traveled, but it turns into points either way.
Prudential will take what they can get, and Patterson launches from 3. That one slides off. Rebounded by Prudential. Hands it to Plummer. Now to Owens. Owens to Peace. Peace. Wide open 3. Nobody there to check him. But Elevate does not pay the price for it.
He was too open. He thought about it, and he knows it too. He kind of slapped his thigh on the way back in frustration.
It's Patterson feeding Carlisle. Carlisle stripped. Regains control of it and knocks it out of bounds, and an attempted pass towards Elliott.
This Elevate Indy offense is really struggling to create really quality looks. And they're going to take a timeout to try to regroup because it has just not been easy going for them offensively to try to figure out how to get that ball in the bottom of the net here in this second half. Once again, they're not getting the same transition opportunities that they got in the first half, and that has made a world of difference.
Absolutely. And Elevate Indy, though, they're only down 3 in this moment, and we're under 5 minutes away just about from getting our Elam-ending target score. And my rule of thumb is that if you're in a 2-possession deficit or better, you're absolutely in contention to steal a victory. And Elevate Indy has stayed within that range throughout this entire game so far. Without Xavier Turner, I might add. I mean, again, you mentioned how they're coming out playing with purpose. They had arguably their best player on the floor last week, lost by 6 to Big Brothers Big Sisters, who we just saw lose by 20-plus to Mambo's Cheesesteak Grill. And now against the defending champions, without their best player, arguably, Elevate Indy is within 3.
It's been a great effort.
Here's Owens commandeering the offense as he crosses the timeline. Guarded by Scott. He finds Boyd. Boyd working inside, kicks it out to Peace. Peace a 3, this time contested. Same results. Peace arguably traveled. and it'll be a putback going through for Prudential. 5-point lead. Here's Mike Elliott, right wing. Hounded by Owens. Great defense from Prudential, but Elliott still is going to get his shot off. And it's rebounded by Scott. Scott to Patterson. Patterson to Elliott. Elliott up, under, and through. One possession game once again. Owens is fouled by Elliott on the floor.
Again, they score off offensive rebound, which might be the strategy here for Elevate Indy, but the ball stays in that corner for so long, doesn't really swing or rotate. But they still end up scoring on the possession regardless.
Here's Zach Owens working inside. He's fouled on the way up. And Prudential now has control of this game. Could take a 2-possession lead once again here as we approach the Elam ending target score. Elevate was in control the whole time, but you can really tell that the momentum is shifting in favor of Prudential.
They've got to find a way to stay in front of Zach Owens. On this possession alone, he's drawn 2 fouls. The first one just on the ground, driving down the left side, and this time he goes right, and they foul him going up for the shot.
Owens at the line, misses the first. Again, 2024 City League MVP. Has been incredible and really lifted this league to a new height. Almost single-handedly as he led Prudential to a championship this past season. And there's a 2-possession lead now, 65-61. Hearns crosses the timeline, guarded by Peace. Hearns pulls up and knocks down the triple. 1-point game once again. Owens seeks a response. Ignores the screen from Peace. Finds Morris. Morris is stripped by Patterson. Patterson on the fast break finds Donovan Scott. Scott lofts it up for Hanslin, and Hanlon slams it down. That's got to be a 4th dunk for Elevate in this game. Owens, the response, rims out, rebounded by Trey Patterson. Patterson to Hanlon, under 2 minutes away from the Elam ending. Hanlon playing with the lead.
And I didn't know Hanlon had the hops like that.
I didn't expect it either, but this Elevate team elevating to the rim. Hanlon finds Patterson, some porous spacing. Patterson finds his cousin in Ron Patterson, and an and-one opportunity for Ron Patterson. And the moment I say the momentum's shifting to Prudential, Elevate swings it right back.
It's all about taking care of the basketball. You think about how this all started. It was Ron Patterson getting the deflection. It led to the alley-oop. Then you get that highlight play. Everybody's up on their feet. They're excited. And it transfers and carries over to the next possession where Patterson now gets a 3-point play.
4-point lead now for Ron Patterson and Elevate Indianapolis. And it seemed like an intentional foul there by Ron Patterson so he can check out of the game.
Yeah, and I expect to see him back in at some point during that Elam ending period. Just getting him a quick breather now for him to at some point come back in this game as we're under 5 minutes now, so very close to the Elam ending target score being put on the board.
Morris finds Plummer. Plummer considers a 3.
Makes this a big minute of play, too.
Plummer to Tillman. Tillman a deep 3. Big-time shot just off. Loose ball, rebounded by Plummer. Back to Morris. Huge second chance opportunity. Boyd now working inside. He's fouled on the way up. So I'm beginning to think that the target score will end up being 78. It'll be 2 free throws for Boyd. And you mentioned that Ron Patterson will likely come back in. It'll be interesting to see how he chooses to play throughout the Elam ending. We saw against Big Brothers Big Sisters, he was chucking up deep threes, possession after possession, knowing that you're 3 triples away from victory in any situation. And Big Brothers Big Sisters ended up winning the game as Ron Patterson missed many of those shots. Timeout's called.
And so right now the clock is at 4:09. And so I believe that Elevate Indy will have a full possession before, I guess they could run down those 9 seconds and call a timeout, but we'll see how these two teams decide to play this. That's the thing about the Elam is that strategically it's just so much different than what teams are used to playing that it makes you think a little bit harder, right, about how to manage the time, manage the clock, manage the scores. So let's see how they kind of handle this. But a big 2 free throws here, nevertheless, for Boyd.
And whichever team is in the lead after these free throws, which I suppose would undoubtedly be Elevate Indy, if they're able to grab the rebounds, I would almost think they'd either push the pace for a bucket or run out the clock a bit and then take a timeout if they can once you get under 4 minutes, so they can guarantee that they're the team closest to the target score. Because otherwise, if you potentially miss a shot, Prudential knocks one down on the other end, then you put them in position to be the leading team when the target score is put on the board. Both shots fall for Boyd. Trey Patterson has it. He finds Hanlon, and Hanlon's going to push the pace the other way. Backing down Tillman. He loses the basketball. Prudential fires it in the other direction. Boyd gives it up to Tillman. Tillman now to Boyd. And Boyd is well contested, but it's stolen away by Peters, and that has to be a clean block. That's called a foul. Zion, what do you think?
That is a makeup call if I've ever seen one. I think Boyd on the first possession got fouled without a call. And then coming back the other way, the steal by Peters led to the layup attempt against Hearns. And Bo Hearns, to me, looked like a clean block. But I think it was a bit of a makeup for the call that Jamel Boyd did not get.
So it's 67-69. Hearns still in disbelief. He's been the hero in this game in the absence of Xavier Turner. Wade Peters. And if you believe in such things, Elevate Indy could say ball don't lie, as Wade Peters misses the free throw.
And so now at this point, I believe we should be at the eliminating regardless. No, now that the foul happened under 4 minutes.
Hanlon will give it off to Hinton. Hinton pushing the pace off the missed free throw. He whips it to Patterson, but it's intercepted out of the air by Johnson. Over to Plummer, and Plummer hits the three.
Now Prudential should foul here.
And they do just that, so Prudential has the lead and the momentum when the target score gets put on the board. It will be 79, a 70-69 ball game. We're going to have a thrilling finish to week 2 of the City League.
How about that spurt we just saw from Prudential? Basically getting 5 straight points on the board, coming back, taking the lead back, and now our target score is set. This is the best game of the day, Andrew. We've saved the best for last.
Absolutely. A trio of blowouts early on. We were looking for sort of some subplots to each game late in the second half, but we don't need any subplots in this one. The winner is completely undetermined. 79 is officially the target score. Elevate Indy is 10 away. Prudential is 9 away. Elevate Indy has the basketball. Ron Patterson will take it off the floor. Patterson crosses the timeline. He's faced with Michael Tillman, and he pulls a deep three. That one's off back iron. Can it be rebounded by Hanlon? Yes. Back to Patterson. Redemption is a pass to Mike Elliott. Back to Patterson, top of the key. Guarded by Boyd. He rumbles to the rim. That shot's way off, rebounded by Prudential.
Prudential seems to be the team with the fresher legs right now.
And
Tillman, that Hearns jumps up and gets a block.
Exactly right. Tillman blocked by Hearns. Hearns working the other way. Right wing three is just off. Rebounded by Carlisle. Great hustle play. And a foul is called on Prudential. I'm not sure if I saw much. Zion, what say you?
I didn't either, and it was the lateness of the call, too, coincided. I think as an official, you got to have the conviction when you see it, is it a foul or not? And I think it was kind of a situation where because the ball got jarred free, the foul was called, not necessarily because the official initially thought a foul was committed.
Certainly a compelling scenario, as no team has scored since the target score was put on the board. Hanlon inbounds to Carlisle. Carlisle steps back, air balls, but it's rebounded by Hanlon. Hanlon looks for space. He gets the call. The bucket and one for Shane Hanlon. What a step-up performance for Shane Hanlon out of Southport High School and Glen Oaks Community College. In the absence of Xavier Turner, this offense has not missed a beat.
Just the hustle plays. That ball, I believe, got deflected on the contest by Tyree Johnson. Johnson looked upset at the tail end of that play that his teammates did not come up with it. And it turns into a three-point play for Hanlon.
And that three-point play is fulfilled. 7 points away is Elevate. Here's Owens going coast to coast. Out of bounds. Owens wants a foul call. He's not going to get it, and Elevate works in the other direction.
I thought he got fouled personally on that kind of rip-through or step-through move.
Some full-court pressure, and a foul is called on Owens, if I'm not mistaken. So Elevate will have another opportunity. And I believe it's a 1-and-1.
Yeah, not a smart play from Owens. I think he wanted to try to get the ball back after feeling he had been wrong to foul-wise, as he's going immediately to talk to an official about it. But you can't commit a careless foul 84 feet from the basket just because of that.
Big thanks to Zach Browning here to my right, informing me of the 1-and-1. Doing great work behind the camera and laptop for us tonight. Here's Johnson working off the missed free throw. Full court press in both directions. Tillman was left open in the corner. He hands it off to Owens. Owens, mid-range jumper. That one's knocked through. 5 points away is both teams here. 72-72. Hanlon works across the timeline. Closely guarded by Plummer. Finds Patterson. Patterson feeds Carlisle. And Carlisle off the glass and through. Goes his shot. They're a triple away. Jamel Boyd, he misses. Elevate can win it right here. Hearns finds Hanlon. Hanlon is fouled in the backcourt by Tillman, and he knew it. 74-72, 1-and-1 once again for Elevate.
Target score still at 79, so Elevate is 5 away.
And that is some very poor math on my part at multiple points in the last couple minutes.
But big 1-and-1 attempt coming for Hanlon again.
So Hanlon will glance that shot off the front of the rim. That's going to be a critical free throw in a few minutes if Elevate ends up losing. Here's Owens, guarded by Hanlon. He pulls from three. That one's just off. Boyd struggles for the rebound, couldn't grab it. 5 points away from victory is Elevate Indy. Here's Mike Elliott on the right wing. He loses it. It's picked up by Prudential. Great hustle from Zach Owens. Michael Tillman working in the other direction, finds Plummer. Plummer, left corner three. That one's just off, rebounded by Hearns. And it's going to head in the direction of Elevate, much to the chagrin of the Prudential roster.
It's been intense here in this eliminated period. The defense has really ratcheted up for both teams.
Patterson, deep three. Oh, it just slides off. And Prudential working the other way. Tillman is fouled by the block. Hearns doesn't have much to say about that, and he'll inbound.
I think it's 1-and-1 again on this end now.
Good call, Zion. It is indeed 1-and-1. So 74-72. Prudential with an opportunity to tie it up and even up the amount of points that each team requires to reach victory. Target score is 79. Michael Tillman out of Richmond High School here locally. He knocks down the first shot. Went to Sinclair Community College. Has done some overseas professional work in the sport of basketball. he looks to even up this game on night 2 of week 2 in the City League, and he does. And even 5 points away are both squads here. Bo Hearns crosses the timeline. Out of bounds and in the direction of Prudential.
Hearns can handle the ball, but I kind of like the ball in somebody else's hands where they can kind of set him up to score near the hoop rather than him having to create for himself.
A great ball handle on the other end would be Zach Owens. Finds Tillman on the right wing. Tillman, closely guarded by Carlisle, gives it back up to Owens. Owens makes a great move on Elliott. Gets the bucket and one. Zach Owens has lots to celebrate. His team's a possession away. It's a triple at the moment. If the free throw falls, any bucket counts from the floor for victory.
How about the acceleration from Zach Owens? Just kind of playing around the three-point arc. Then he hit the jets to get to the rim, crossing over and finishing with his left.
Misses the free throw. That's a big one. Mike Elliott crosses the timeline. He feeds Carlisle. Carlisle misses the bunny. Prudential,
gotta get back.
A triple away for a win. Owens, corner three. Bullseye! Zach Owens hits the game winner. And Prudential is 1-0. Their championship defense campaign has a fantastic start, and Elevate Indy is heartbroken in the Elam ending once again.
And Zach Owens yells, "Go home" to the crowd. Zach, we're all going home. This is the last game of the night. But what a finish by Zach Owens, going on a 5-0 run by himself when this game was tied at 74 to end it. He's incredible. I said it in the first half. I said, just wait. The second half, he is going to really try to put his stamp on this ball game. And we saw him do just that to win it for Prudential to start 1-0.
Don't you just love sports? Don't you just love competition?
It has been truly remarkable to watch all 4 games today, and this one particularly was our game of the day. The most exciting one we saw today by far, maybe the most exciting one of the 2 days here in week 2. What a finish.
And my favorite storyline is Prudential with a massive victory in clutch time. Mambo's Cheesesteak Grill ran away with it in their first game. Those are the 2 teams that participated in the championship game last year that we hadn't seen prior to tonight. Night 4 of the City League, the last night for teams to make their first appearance, and both of those championship and, of course, runner-up squads showed up in a big way today. We're going to have a very fun summer.
Absolutely. This Prudential team will be a great one, and if Elevate Indy, I know they're 0-2, if they could continue this level of play, then they will certainly be a team that is in contention as well to come away with the City League title this year.
Absolutely. They're going to be in a great opportunity to be an upset team sort of in the tournament as those 12 teams embark on their championship run later this summer. For Zion Brown, I have been Andrew Garrison. Big thanks to Zach Browning for doing the hard work behind the scenes tonight. We'll see you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. for 3 more City League games. Stay tuned to the City League Live.